In this session, we'll draw the bracket part that will then be dimensioned in the following sessions. After choosing the Start from Scratch option, we'll select the default settings of English. We'll now select the pull-down option Tools, followed by selecting the Drafting Settings option. We'll change the grid spacing to 1.0 and then set the snap spacing to 0.5 for both the X and Y directions. We'll now click on OK to establish these settings. In order to make use of the grid and snap options, we'll switch them on by clicking on the corresponding buttons in the status bar. We'll now click on the Layers icon to display the Layer Properties Manager window. We'll create the collection of new layers shown here using the techniques described in previous lessons. Now we'll set the construction layer as our current layer and then click on OK to accept the settings. We'll begin the process of drawing construction lines by clicking on the construction line icon. And now we'll key in the world coordinates 3, 2 and then use the mouse to click on a location directly above this point to draw a vertical line. We'll now move the mouse to the right of the first location and then left click again to draw the horizontal line. Now we'll right click the mouse to end the construction line command. We'll now click on the snap button in the status bar area to turn it off. The offset command is now used to create the collection of construction lines that are shown here. Prior to drawing lines that define the part, we'll left click in the layer control box and then left click on the layer object lines to set it as our current layer. We'll now click on the Object Snap Tracking, and Line Weight buttons in the status area. Now we'll click on the line icon and then draw the collection of lines as shown here. We'll now trim the overlapping lines and then draw the circles shown here. We'll finish the rough outline of our drawing by now trimming the large circle. Now we'll set the hidden line layer as our current layer and then draw the line shown here in the side view. We'll now add a center line that is located at the center of the circles in the side views. Since we no longer need the construction lines, we'll use the layer control box to turn off the display of these lines. We'll now set the object lines layer as the current layer. And finally, we'll add the fillets, followed by saving the file. In this session, we'll begin to add dimensions to the drawing of the bracket that we started in the previous session. We'll begin by right-clicking the mouse while it is located in the standard toolbar and then selecting the dimension option. Now we'll click on the dimension style icon that is located on the dimension toolbar. In the Dimension Style Manager window, we'll now click on the New button in order to define a new set of parameters for our dimensions. For the new name, we'll key in Mechanical and then click on the Continue button. We'll now select the Primary Units tab and then set the unit format to fractional. Now we'll select the Next tab and then set the text height to 0.125. For our final adjustment, we'll click on the Line and Arrows tab and set both the extend and arrow size to 0.125 and then set the center mark to Line. We'll now click on the OK button to establish these settings. Finally, we'll click on the Set Current button to make Mechanical Style the current style being used, followed by clicking on the Close button. Prior to placing any centerline symbols on our drawing, we'll click in the Layer control box and set the current layer to be the centerline layer. And now we'll click on the Center Mark icon in the Dimension toolbar, followed by selecting the circles. Since we are now ready to add dimensions to our drawing, we'll click on the Layer control box and set Dimensions as our current layer. And now we'll click on the Linear Dimension icon in the Dimension toolbar. In order to place a dimension on our drawing, we'll start by left-clicking on the two endpoints between which we want to dimension. Then we'll left-click at the location where we want to place the dimensioning text. We'll continue to add the linear dimensions shown here. In this session, we'll finish dimensioning the bracket and then illustrate how text can be added to our drawing. We'll start by clicking on the angular dimension icon in the dimensioning toolbar, and then click on the inclined line. For the second line, we'll click on the vertical line. And now we'll position the text at the desired location and then click the left mouse button. We'll now click on the radius dimension icon in the dimensioning toolbar, and then click on the outer radius of the bracket. We'll now position the dimension at the desired location and then click the left mouse button. We'll now repeat the radius dimension option in order to dimension the fillets as shown here. In order to dimension the two holes, we'll now click on the diameter dimension icon. And then we'll left-click on the hole and then position the dimensioning text and click the left mouse button. We'll repeat this process for the other hole. The final annotation that we'll add to our drawing is a line of text. We'll start this process by selecting the pull-down options, Draw, Text, and then Single Line Text. We'll now move the crosshairs to the location where we would like the text to start, and then click the left mouse button. Now we'll key in a value of 0.125 for the height of the text. And now we'll accept the 0 value for the rotation angle by pressing the Enter key. And finally, we'll key in the text, followed by pressing the Enter key twice.